Hey guys, welcome to the Dead Horse Podcast. I'm Vivek, and with me this week are Arvind
Hello.
and Rashi.
Hey,
So, yeah, what have you guys been playing this week?
well, I have been playing Torchlight 2. I just started it today, and I'm pretty impressed by the game. It's pretty good, except sometimes the whole left mouse clicking for doing everything from traveling to picking up items to attacking. It's kind of irritating at times. But the story is good. Yeah, story is
Is
pretty interesting.
did you play Torchlight?
No, I
Okay,
haven't
so
played Torchlight.
is this your first Diablo clone style game, or you played the Diablo game before?
No, yeah, it's my first.
Okay,
Yeah,
so how are
maybe
you?
maybe that's why I'm getting bugged by the whole thing because I've not played it before, so I'm not used to it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, do you generally play and enjoy? Do you generally enjoy playing loot-driven games? Like, I mean, games like these are about collecting items and collecting loot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's fine. It's just that sometimes I'm just pretty much used to the whole button mashing thing, or I don't know, something like that. But uh,
Okay.
yeah, but this is I mean, it's just that walking at times, so if you have to travel around
Yeah,
the entire
Yeah,
place and you
yeah.
have to keep
to
on
walk around can be
clicking
irritating.
point and click. That's the thing I'm actually bugged about.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, that is definitely the most irksome part of
Mm.
those games. Like initially, there's a bump before they introduce you to the concept of fast travel, and
Hmm.
until you have sufficient waypoints where you can teleport to wherever you want, it kind of becomes a bit irritating that you have to run to these
Yeah.
places and discover the waypoints.
But then
Uh,
What class?
you meet so
Yeah.
many enemies. So I'm the Outlander,
Oh, the
okay,
the one with the guns, right?
the
yeah,
one
The
with the gun and the magic.
Oh, right.
I like the best of both the worlds.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a yeah, I prefer the Berserker because like Berserker has a really like that's literally like once you start like using that ability and putting points in that ability, that's the only ability you need. So I
Ah.
don't have to like memorize that. It's that the thing where you I don't know what it's called. It's called phase walk or something. No, but phase walk is something else.
Mhm.
That's from Borderlands. Like it's something where you what you do is you do a little dash, and while you are doing the dash, you are invulnerable and you absorb like enemy health. So like
Okay.
it's basically like the only power you ever need because you are
Right.
invincible and you are
Yeah.
absorbing health. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what is
There
really.
are certain weapons that actually leech off the enemy health, and in fact,
Oh
one
yeah.
my pet scholar also has this ability at the moment. So,
Mm.
but obviously, it's a very minute thing, so it doesn't really make
Yeah.
much difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff with health leeching and stuff is you generally have to craft items so that it stacks to a really unimaginable level where
Mm.
you can leech 10 to 15% of health from each hit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that happens in the late game. It's not gonna happen.
Later levels, of course.
Yeah. I find these games I find it really interesting when people are playing a game like this for the first time. It's interesting to see how they get into it because the first game of this variety that I played was Diablo 2,
Yeah.
and the only reason I played it for such an insane amount of time, I think I sank 300 plus hours into that game because I
Wow.
played it co-op. Uh, so yeah, it's weird. Those games are definitely hit or miss experiences.
Hmm.
Uh,
See, I think co-op really makes stuff pretty interesting, especially if you're playing it with your friends, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, playing it with your friends at that point any game is good. Like
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed Borderlands 2 because I was playing it with my friends.
Uh.
Borderlands 2 is okay. Like I found it much better than Borderlands 1. So,
I found it pretty much Borderlands 1, but with I don't know. I did not
Slightly
enjoy
better.
Borderlands 2 for whatever reason. I did
yeah.
not enjoy it. It's not the writing in general. Like just on a mechanical level, I did not enjoy the way the guns felt and played in that game. Uh,
Yeah, Borderlands 2 kind of like because I played Borderlands 1 a bit, like completed it once, and now I've completed Borderlands 2 one like about the Game of the Year edition, but I like did not feel like I wanted to play any DLC. I was like, yeah, and like I don't feel any urge to buy the new Borderlands that's coming out. So like
The
I've almost like
Telltale.
what?
the pre-sequel, right? That's what it's
Yeah,
called. Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Yeah, like what's
yeah.
with these names? God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Borderlands, yeah, like they're pretty much like doing that whole, like wacky, zany kind of thing. So
you know we're funny, right? You know we're funny.
yeah,
We're funny. We're funny. We're
Uh,
really funny.
yeah.
I'm just waiting for their Game of Thrones game. They were making a Game of Thrones game, right?
No, no, that's Telltale
Telltale,
Games,
yeah,
not Gearbox. Thank God Gearbox is not
yeah.
making a
Gearbox can make like, I mean, like they would
Wait,
probably like make it a shooter or something.
but I thought Telltale is also working on Tales from Borderlands
Tales of the
thing.
Yeah,
Borderlands. Yeah, yeah. Telltale Games is like
they're
games like
working
them.
on 4 games right now. I think
Yeah,
like the Wolf of Us,
Wolf
the Wolf
Among Us,
Among
Wolf
Us.
Walking
Yeah,
Among Us.
yeah. My
Walking
God, all of this.
Dead.
Of Us. Where did that
Yeah,
come
I
from?
always get like, because like that as soon as I said the something, then I was like
Last
Last
of
of
Us.
Us. Yeah.
Last of Us.
So
The
yeah,
Wolf
my
of
brain is
Us.
yeah.
Oh man, that would be an amazing game. The Wolf of Us.
So
Where
okay,
instead
so
of zombies you become werewolves. Are
yeah,
there any
Yeah,
werewolf
it's a
games
yeah.
around?
it's a werewolf apocalypse.
I mean, there are a lot of RPGs in which you can become a werewolf. Like in Skyrim, you can become
I
werewolf.
am a werewolf
I've
in Skyrim.
No game
Uh,
has truly capitalized on the potential of Twilight and delivered a werewolf experience that can captivate a
yeah,
new generation.
yeah. Like until the sequel to Unrest, that is, which is like it will be announced shortly. So
Is it going to be called Funrest?
no, no. But yeah, anyway, joking aside, well, I mean, like that because it's how marketers think, right? Marketers don't think that like Twilight's demographic like women like play games, so marketers won't ever like greenlight a Twilight game. I can't imagine.
Eight second, just 1 minute. I don't. Where did Twilight come from?
Because he was saying werewolves, right? And then he was like, why haven't games
Ew,
capitalized
ew.
on?
Twilight. Twilight isn't the only thing that has werewolves in it.
Wait, like, is there a Twilight game? Because I genuinely don't know. Like,
Yeah, yeah, there are a bunch of Twilight games, dude. They're all on mobile. I'm pretty sure.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm sure they're all on mobile.
oh,
Uh, I don't think there's any major Twilight did not do the Harry Potter thing of having a PC and console game release with each
Hmm.
movie.
Thank God.
Uh, they stuck to mobile.
yeah. Though, like, honestly, like some kind of like Phoenix Bright type game, like, but with Twilight would be pretty good. Like,
It's weird to me that the Hunger Games has not come out with a multiplayer
yeah,
action game.
I mean, yeah, that's like somebody
That
like, yeah, that
that
sounds
seems
like
like a
funny. Yeah,
perfect fit. A
yeah.
survival action game based on the Hunger Games, but they've
Yeah.
not done that for whatever reason.
Yeah, somebody needs to make a Hunger Games mod of Daisy. So then it would be like Arma mod becomes Daisy, and then Daisy mod becomes Hunger Games. So
Oh God.
because no, actually, like Hunger Games fits the Daisy formula pretty well. Like how like just certain people are thrown into this big giant thing with to like fend for themselves. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean Hunger Games could be
and people betray each other at the drop of a hat, apparently.
yeah.
I
Though,
mean,
though
Daisy is
like
already the Hunger Games if you think about it that way.
yeah.
It's just that it's stacked unfairly because everybody does not enter at the same playing on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Some people have got insane gear and can like just wreck other people within seconds of them spawning into that world.
Yeah. So so yeah, no, no, like the thing with like with what you were discussing earlier about like Diablo like I think there's a fine line between tedium and like actually like mechanical progression because like these games don't really have like that plot kind of thing at enough detail to give you. Like, the plot is usually very broad and like just enough to kind of give you the like impression that you are going to new places and like something is happening. So
Yeah, it's interesting that I mean, it is interesting that you say that because why? I mean, one of your favorite games of all time is an isometric game that doesn't exactly play like Diablo, but I mean, there are a lot of similarities. Planescape Torment. Uh,
I don't think Planescape Tournament and Diablo like share anything apart from like the perspective. Like
it's not just the perspective; it is how you move your characters around. It is like those things are still there, right? I mean, they've not gone. Uh, there's a much more tactical view of the combat, and Planescape Torment is about a dialogue system, so yes, it's different in that sense. But I mean, I don't know. I find it fascinating that we're going back to an era when like an isometric a game with an isometric camera can be completely narrative driven. I think Supergiant started that trend again with Bastion, and now we're seeing more like Wasteland 2 is coming back, and then we're gonna have Torment Tides of Numenera. We're gonna have a lot more games that are.
I don't know. Like I think like the Diablo thing is just like it's not related to like this in because there has been a steady stream of like Diablo style games. Like there has been the Titan Quest thing, and
Yeah,
then there has been so like
but
this is
I mean,
pretty much a
like,
series that like I don't think it's related to like the resurgence of classical RPGs. Like, that's just completely different.
no, I'm not saying that they're related to the resurgence of classical RPGs. I'm saying that for a long time, an isometric camera view has been associated with loot-driven games that are not heavy on story. And since Supergiant came in and made Bastion, we're seeing a return to the roots of like that perspective in games. It's I don't know, it's weird. For the longest time, if you wanted to tell a story driven game, the camera perspective has been restricted to either first person or third person, like a third person in the sense that you do the open world third person camera where it's like stuck over the shoulder. uh, Isometric kind of got lost in the classical RPG kind of got lost for a long time, and then I think Bastion came around and people saw that you could tell stories no matter what the perspective. If you're smart, you can tell stories with whatever camera angle,
Hmm.
and we're seeing a resurgence of those kind of games now.
I mean, like I don't know. Like this sounds like kind of like forcing a narrative onto something that's happening. Like I don't know. Like I don't think like this is any like reaction because like if like Bastion was responsible, like it's a good game, but like if that was responsible, then like why aren't there been more like like narrative kind of that like the narrative that uses
I don't
like
know that. Yeah, like I don't know that everyone can do something like that. A, you don't want to do that because the first thing everyone will say is you're ripping off Bastion, and B, Logan Cunningham has the kind of voice that can carry a game, and even someone who's as good an actor as him. Like when I finished Transistor, I realized that I was kind of done with playing another. I don't think I'll be able to play another game in which he's the sole voice that I hear. For almost 90% of the game, he's the only voice that you hear.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can play another game with that being the case. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, a
But
lot of
they
people
told that.
did find it irritating.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean ultimately with voices like there is going to be somebody who like even like find the most awesome voice ever like irritating like because it's just like so subjective, so can't really do anything about that.
No, no, I'm not talking about it in that sense. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about if you listen to just one voice through an entire game, it will start to grate on you. It doesn't matter that the voice acting is good or the voice acting is bad. I'm talking about the last two games of Supergiant have sounded tonally kind of consistent, and not just consistent, tonally kind of bland now because they've had the same guy doing the voice acting for both games.
It's only two games. I mean, not like. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
I
like
mean,
anywhere near the anywhere near the saturation of like Desmond in Assassin's
it's
Creed, for example.
no, it's not anywhere near the saturation of Destiny, anywhere near the saturation of Master Chief and Halo. But it's still like I mean, you still listen to his voice for. It feels like you listen to his voice for way more time than you want to, because the difference between Desmond and the difference between the protagonist of Bastion and Transistor is that you're actually listening to the dialogue. I don't remember any dialogue from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about a standout moment for this and the Assassin's Creed series, it's the moment when that goddess turns to and faces the camera and breaks the fourth wall, and it's like I'm talking to you. Uh,
There's
that is the
Yeah,
good.
that was
standout
yeah.
narrative moment in the Assassin's Creed series. But
Yeah, that
outside
was
that,
yeah funny. Like, and just before that fist fight with the Pope, that was really nice. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, the fight with the Pope is.
And like, and, as you were saying that like this will bring my family back, and then like the next game, like his family failed because he let that guy live. That was also pretty funny.
I think yeah, I don't know. It's pretty
Yeah.
funny in a lot of ways. One of my favorite moments in Assassin's Creed 2 is when his uncle shows up and says, "It's a me, Mario."
It was so bad. God.
Yeah, that was just I it was like yeah, as soon as he said like my name is Mario, like I was like okay, like don't do this. I know you are like it is very tempting, but don't do this. But then they just like did it. So yeah, like,
He said it.
yeah. Uh,
It's pretty
so
good.
I mean I don't know. Like I guess like if supergiant want to like like freshen things up, they can like get Nolan North for the next game. Nolan North, yeah, for as the next next game. So yeah, that's always the thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's uh like
They
Nolan
can
North.
get yeah, they can get that guy, Patrick Stewart and kill him in the paper. Like that's
Actually,
all
you
it
know
took.
what? Troy Baker is pretty much the new Nolan North if you think about it. Uh,
Yeah.
like
uh,
Uh,
what games has he like voiced?
uh, he's voiced Booker DeWitt in Bioshock Infinite. He's voicing the new villain in
Joker.
he's voicing the Joker in the new Batman game. He's voicing
I thought Joker
uh
was dead, but they like
no
brought him back because they don't have any other villains.
no he's voicing the villain in Far Cry 4.
Oh, is he
He's
that Julian Assange thinks to guy?
yeah. He's
Oh,
voicing the villain in Far Cry 4. He voiced Joel from The Last of Us. Uh, he's done a lot of like I mean he's the new Nolan North for lack of a better
yeah.
like
Why can't they get like friendship and make like give her all the roles ever? Like,
Jennifer Hale is like I mean she gets all the major prominent female voice actor roles she generally does, right?
huh, okay. Yeah. But I guess that she does. Like, I don't really realize that it's her. And I don't
Yeah, I mean with good voice actors you generally don't. I mean Troy Baker, a lot of most people don't know that he's done these roles. Like
know.
the difference between him and Nolan North is you know that Nolan North is you know Nolan North's voice by now. You know when Drake is talking. You're like, hey, what's
Yeah.
Drake doing in this game? Uh,
Yeah.
like I mean, I heard him randomly once while walking around the world in Mafia 2, and I was like, holy shit.
No, so like all of us have played Metal Gear, I think, Vengeance thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, like, should we talk about that? Like, well,
Revengeance.
yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. One question for you about Revengeance. What was your favorite boss fight, Arvind?
So my favorite boss fight was the one with at the end, the the big Metal Gear which Senator guy is driving.
Oh, okay.
And the second one is the first Metal Gear at the start because they in both the things like how it ends is you lift like a giant robot with your bare hands and somebody shooting rules of nature behind it. I mean that's like best boss fight can happen in a video game.
Mhm.
Like
My favorite was Jetstream Sam, which is
Same.
just before that fight. Uh, okay,
mm, oh
yeah,
that's too difficult though. So that's why I like it because yeah that was too difficult.
I had a lot of fun with that fight.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just the setting that he's standing in the middle of the road waiting for you, and you realize that like when you kill him, you realize that no part of him is cyborg at all, which
Yeah.
basically means he's 30 to 40 times the swordsman Raiden is. It's kind of awesome, you know. Like he's able to fight Raiden without any kind of cybernetic modifications. That's awesome. Uh,
No, but he does have that thing, right? I mean, it's
huh?
like he has the arm thing. Like he's not 100%, but he's still a bit. But anyway, it's not like it matters in the story. Like he pretty much like the point where he takes Raiden's ass is more always like story driven.
Yeah.
So it's
Have you
not
played?
really.
Have you played the alternate campaigns yet? Have you played the Blade Wolf campaign? Have
Yeah,
you played?
yeah. I didn't like
No,
them.
I
Like
haven't.
Jetstream Sam's campaign is basically rebuilt Mexico level.
Oh,
and
okay. That
and like
sucks.
so like it has three bosses like just one level. The first one is Metal Gear Ray, same one as Guidance first boss fight. Then second is Blade Wolf, and third is Tester. So yeah, that was weird because like, the first boss fight is very easy, and then at the end it's the same Senator with like every this it's the exact same boss fight as Senator. So so yeah, like what the hell? Like I don't like the Senator boss fight at all. Yeah.
The senator boss fight, yeah, the last part of that senator boss fight is pretty irritating.
Yeah, especially when he heals himself. Like that felt super unfair. Like why was he
But
healing?
then,
It's not.
when he's healing himself, you actually have the opening to beat him up.
Huh.
Yeah. So you can stop him from doing that. In fact,
Huh.
loses even more power.
Also, Arvind, did you wear the sombrero and the Mexican hat while running around
Yeah,
that game? Because
yeah,
that is the most fun I've had while playing
yeah.
Metal.
I actually have a like community screenshot where like Raiden Theorem you can use the cardboard box. You hide with the cardboard box and you're wearing the sombrero. Like you show
Yeah,
up at
the
cardboard
sombrero is
box
on top of
wearing
the
a
cardboard box.
yeah.
Little
So,
touches like that are what make it a platinum game. Uh, like
yeah.
I'll give you an example. In Vanquish, there is actually a button dedicated to which basically whenever you press it, your character smokes a cigarette.
I know you're
So
like,
like I
waiting for the guy to power up and you just take a cigarette in your mouth. Like, yeah, dude, take your time.
yeah. No, what really like it's like the plot of the game is just so like it's like Platinum realizing that Metal Gear like it's pretty much like super ridiculous. So they just like lampoon themselves because there's so much like movements. So like suddenly the doctor and then that doctor name is just so hilarious. Like that made me laugh because okay, so like he's like German I guess so.
I don't know if I mean once you play Bayonetta, I think you'll realize that it's not Platinum realizing that Metal Gear is ridiculous as much as Platinum realizing that they love ridiculous shit in games. And they just go all out to make a ridiculous game.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know that I
yeah.
don't know that there's any subtext going on there, uh, other than
Like
the
could
fact
be, yeah.
Platinum
Like,
loves doing outrageous shit. Uh,
yeah, I mean that could be the case, yeah. Because but like yeah, because like sometimes the plot just suddenly goes into like super serious stuff and then the next one like the doctor is saying like first you need to take a dump. So like what the hell? Like yeah, it's like yeah. But I guess it's like ultimately like the sheer level of like how cathartic the game feels. Like drowns out everything else. Like the plot, anything like the cutscenes maybe like are a bit too long, and yeah, and the power level just like seems to be like if I'm a character becomes suddenly super powerful because like it's their story time, and later on like they're just useless. So yeah,
yeah. Uh, Actually, there's another boss fight in this game that I found pretty irritating. It's the boss fight with the guy who has the size. Uh,
yeah, monsoon, yeah,
yeah, the guy you have to
Mm,
fight outside the building while it's raining.
yeah.
yeah,
That
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 is,
was a slightly irritating boss fight the first time round.
and the worst part is he actually comes back. You have to fight
Yeah,
him all over again.
yeah.
That was
yeah,
so
The second
frustrating.
time was easier, but the first time was particularly bad.
Yeah.
yeah. I actually like practiced perfect pairing, so like it was like relatively easier for me. But yeah, like that is annoying, especially when like the part where like he does the cloud like fog thing, and then he like keeps on hitting you again and again.
Mm.
And at that point, like I did not even
If
know how to
I
activate
remember
that.
correctly, when I was playing this particular boss fight, I was not very good with parrying, and I had a tough time. In fact, I think the monsoon boss fight was the toughest of all the fights that I actually did.
Mm. That
That
is
was bad
so.
for me, but the final the part where he throws shit at you in the last boss fight was probably what just broke me completely in that game. And like that was when I was past my point of no return. I'm like I can't keep playing this.
Did you
Yeah.
go back to it then?
No, I've not gone back to it. Last week I've just been playing Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Uh, uh,
I'll talk
Yeah.
about that later anyway. I
I mean,
will go back to it. Now that I know you can actually dodge those things, I will go back to it.
yeah.
mm,
I just like stocked up on medkits, and so I just took the hits, like, and like when that happened, I died, so like I was like, fuck it, I'm playing some easy. So I switched to easy, stocked up on medkits, then like that I somehow just like survived with one medkit remaining for that boss fight. Yeah, that's just because like he has lots of. I guess like one thing which I don't kind of like is that like you can't perfect parry anything the game categorizes as a boss. So even like the first time, like the big those things which can transform into turrets show up, like when a character is designated as boss by the game, you can't perfect parry them. So that makes the game like unnecessarily tough, I think.
Hmm.
And stealth stuff, I guess it's kind of weird. Like, I mean,
Well,
like,
the stealth stuff I think is just in there for fun. That's just a system that they implemented because it would be fun, that more than anything else.
yeah, yeah. Though, like, in most cases, I just don't want to avoid combat because combat is just so fun. So,
Combat is amazing. Like in terms of like this is probably the best combat system in not in the entire last generation of games. I still think Bayonetta is better, but in terms of third-person action games, probably one of the best combat systems around.
yeah,
And
I mean,
the weird thing is, for if you want to do like a best combat system kind of deep dive, you'll probably find that Platinum is in the top five on. Like it's probably every nominee in this category is a Platinum game.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's definitely better than any Devil May Cry game I've played. Like, I can definitely see that. I've played 3, 4. Like, haven't played 1 and 2, but I played 3 and 4. So yeah,
yeah, I
like, I
mean
think yeah, it's
three
definitely.
is an excellent game, but this blows three out of the water.
Yeah,
Uh,
3 is more difficult. Like that's for sure. Like 3 is
oh yeah,
basically
there's
built
no
to be difficult.
comparison, but this
So
is more satisfying than three.
yeah,
Uh, like this is easily a more satisfying game than three is. Uh, I'd even say it's at points it does the impossible and manages to be a more stylish combat system than Devil May Cry 3.
mm. I mean I don't know. Like I did like there's no way you can say like the way I fought Devil May Cry was stylish. So I don't know about that. Yeah. Like I suck at the games which require lots of like complex key presses to do the like move thing. Rashi, what do you think? Like, how do you think this game compares to the other 3D fighting games?
I don't. I don't know. This game was actually a lot of fun. Maybe because of the complete random stuff that was going on in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have not had that much fun in a long time. I've played so many games, but this game was definitely the. I remember when I was playing Prince of Persia Warrior Within. That's
Mm.
also the time when I went totally gaga over the whole fighting thing.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
Warrior
Warrior
Within,
is a
yeah.
pretty good combat system, which weirdly enough does not appear in the other two games.
Yeah,
No, I think,
exactly.
I think Two Thrones had the same system, but like I always got through Warrior Within thing by like randomly pressing E and left mouse at the same time, and he would execute all the combos by himself. So like I don't think it was like yeah, and no, I literally like what would happen is like my friends would be like, "Yeah, Arvind is good at Warrior Within's combat," so they would get me to play like the tough combat scenes, and all I would be doing was like pressing left click and E at the same time, and he would just like do all of those insane combos like for me. So I don't know if like that game had like this level of depth. I mean,
No,
perfect pairing requires
it
like
did.
timing and such. Yeah.
Maybe it didn't have parrying. I don't really remember because I played it long back. But it did have a lot of combinations that you could use, and most of the weapons, there were so many weapons in the game that you could personalize and you can use those.
Yeah,
Mm.
like for its
But
time, it was kind of like
yeah,
a Batman of its time, I would say.
You customize weapons in Warrior Within. I did not know that.
no, you can't customize weapons, but there are so many weapons that you can choose.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
you can't customize. Sorry, that was
yeah. They
the
break
wrong
very
word that I used.
easily. Like they
But
have
it disk at
super
one point
small.
in time.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
like
they
super
did
small
break.
thing. What do you call?
Huh.
Hit the super small health bars like weapons.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. Warrior
But
Within
the
like
thing,
like at that
but the
time
thing
like
that
I.
I actually liked about Warrior Within and Metal Gear Rising is the absolutely amazing soundtrack that plays behind while you're slicing enemies into little pieces. That is what's fun, you just completely dance to the tune of the song
Hmm.
behind you.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the song like Metal Gear Rising, but like I don't know if like because I hated the soundtrack to Metal like Warrior Within, because like they like Sands of Time had this awesome like Persian kind of soundtrack, and then like this game just had like Godsmack. So
I
like
don't know.
when I was
I just really
yeah.
liked it.
Yeah. I mean, like when I was doing the fight thing, like I was enjoying the fight, but still like tears would be coming out of my eyes because like it didn't have the music from Sands of Time. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, I do think like they did kind of went extra dark with it. Like maybe like it shouldn't have been
Yeah,
that dark,
yeah.
but
It got super dark. I
yeah.
mean, weirdly enough,
But
though.
good. It's good.
No, yeah, game is exceptional. Like I think like the skin that the game is wearing basically. Like the game is exceptional, but like the clothes the game is wearing like are like too dark, and the game
Uh,
isn't like self-aware. Like at that time, like everyone was doing dark, just like completely straight-faced. Like everything was
uh,
like yes, we are so dark and we are so grim. So nowadays, like you usually have a bit of like self-awareness when people do that.
uh, maybe that could be the case.
Well, like the thing that strikes me is Prince of Persia for the the generation. Are we in the seventh or eighth generation now, whatever? For the Xbox and PlayStation 2 generation, Prince of Persia is probably my favorite trilogy of games.
Yeah,
And I
Hmm.
don't think
definitely. Yeah.
I have any trilogy from this generation that I liked as much as I liked Prince of Persia.
No,
Hmm.
I can definitely agree because like they were a huge part of what got me into playing video games in the first place. Like they were the first like proper PC games that's completed like all the way through. Before that, I would just like play random fighting games and stuff like for like 5 minutes.
My dad used to play Prince of Persia DOS versions when we were kids.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I got that when I was very, very young. I got my hands on the DOS version of Prince of Persia and
And
I played the shit out of it.
whenever I tried it, I had Shadow and Flame, and whenever I tried that, there was this one skeleton, a particular skeleton that comes on a bridge, and you have to defeat that guy. You just can't. I just couldn't defeat that guy. It was just too tough.
yeah.
And after that, I think you go Man the Carpet or the Pegasus or someone. You basically fly. That's
Yeah, the
all I
first game
remember.
I actually saw was Aladdin. That one that was on the DOS thing. Like I remember like one of my eldest sisters had a Mac like at that time. The big one, that came with the screen at
Huh.
that time. So on that like it was the Aladdin thing, which was like totally like it started with the same like screen as the movie, and like
Hmm.
it had
Yeah.
that and Doom like she would play no Wolfenstein, sorry, the one with the Nazis, that one.
Oh, old Wolf 3D?
No, I did not own like my elder sister owned. I did not have a computer until class 8, but before that like my elder sister. Like when we used to visit them, like she would play the games.
I
And
had a
I would let
shareware
she,
version of
yeah.
Wolf 3D, in which like I mean I always used to keep beating the level that I had, and I could never get any of the other levels, so I
Hmm.
just keep playing the
yeah,
level that I had,
yeah,
and I love that game.
yeah. The funny thing was that like my elder sister wouldn't let me play those games because I was too young to play such violent games. So like I would
Yeah.
just sit and watch like while she would play. So yeah, responsible like elder sibling thing. yeah.
Doom 3, Doom 1 was my first game though. Me and my sis used to play that.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, Doom actually, it's Doom is one of those games which like I can still have fun playing today. Like it's
Yeah,
that well
totally,
designed.
totally.
Yeah.
What is the first game I played? I think is Street Fighter 2.
Street
I
Fighter
can
2 was the
I can never get into fighter games. I don't know why. I just don't understand the button mash.
yeah. It's like my mind just kind of like short circuits as soon as I have to like press more than two buttons in sequence to activate a move. So like I don't know. Like I just never can play in the fighting games.
Yeah, my dad brought over a copy of Street Fighter 2 and Rastan on a 5 and 1/4 inch floppy. This is a long, long time ago. Yeah.
yeah. Man, like floppy disks are so annoying. Like we had to submit our school projects like earlier before like CDs were like became popular in floppy. So I used to like burn project
What did you burn, Arvind?
no, I had to
Who
like
did you
burn on
burn?
Who did you burn, Arvind? Arvind, did you burn a person? Did you burn a
No,
person working in a AAA game company? Why did you do it, Arvind? Why?
no.
Why?
No, what I was saying was that like earlier we had to like get our like school projects in floppies. So I used to burn 3 floppy disks because eventually one of them would fail. Like I knew that, just like in my school lab, and everyone used to bring the triple eight copy of them. Yeah, like they weren't the most like reliable of them.
So you used to burn floppy disks.
Yeah.
So like, how would you burn the floppy disk? Would you get a lighter and go like, Shh, I'm burning you floppy
You
disk?
know, like it's figurative.
God.
Like I
I
used to burn
know it's
actually. Yeah.
figurative, but now I have it in my head that you burned something. So what did you burn as a child? When you were a
I
child,
think
what?
I think you burned somebody, okay, and you're just blaming it on her.
You
Yeah.
know, when I was young, I was accused of starting a fire in my school.
Yeah. They were probably right. Yeah, they were
I was
probably
I
right.
was
Yeah.
cleared of all charges. I was cleared of all charges, but I was accused of starting a fire in my school.
Yeah, that's probably your family connections helping you out.
No comment. Uh,
So yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. Coming back to Metal Gear Rising, like I think like it's one of those games which I enjoyed it more because I was doing the over the top like insane stuff as opposed to like seeing somebody else do. Because that always kind of annoys me when some game is like, look, isn't this person awesome? And look, isn't this person doing something? He like Raiden doesn't have much of a personality. Like so like, I can just be like, yeah, this is a empty vessel for the player character. So so that's why I liked it because like it was like, okay, yeah, you are doing all of this stuff, and since like the I guess partly because of the color scheme, like when like those quick time events happen, like the really awesome ones, you don't
yeah,
really like you don't really see Raiden. Somehow it's like you are doing the crazy thing where you like hurl a robot over the sky. I don't know.
I'm okay with the quick time events in this game because you regularly do such batshit insane stuff
Yeah,
while actually playing the game that it's okay. I am
yeah,
okay with the
Yeah.
cutscenes in this game because whatever combat they show in the cutscenes, you end up doing while playing the game.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
totally.
it's pretty cool in that sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
better than Devil May Cry definitely, in which like character does something super insane and then like game
and you
starts.
can't do it while playing. Like,
Yeah,
it's really sad. Yeah. Like, I
yeah,
mean, there are some things that Dante does that you can actually do, but it's so hard to master those moves that
yeah. No,
it's
and like it's like 5% of what he does in cutscenes can be done
yeah,
otherwise.
yeah.
The rest, all of that is just yeah, yeah, and like it's just like yeah. I mean, this kind of tone in which like I would like thoroughly enjoy a Metal Gear game without caveats. Usually I enjoy them, but with like a giant list of caveats. But
Mm.
like, a tone like this in which nothing is being taken seriously and like the over the top stuff is dead, like a very light
But I
tone.
mean, if you look at all the Metal Gear Solid games until 4, that's pretty much been the case. They've had the over the top stuff. They haven't taken themselves too seriously. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 4 had a guy who kept shitting his pants, be one of the main heroes in the game. Like, it ends with him getting married. So it's not. These are not
Who
games that take
who
themselves
gets
overly
married?
seriously.
I
Uh,
haven't played Metal
Who gets
Gear
married?
Solid, so I don't know.
the ending, it's no one important. Like, it's a guy in Metal Gear Solid 4 who keeps shitting his pants. He ends up marrying Meryl, I think, in the end.
Okay.
Uh, and like, whatever nanomachines are why he keeps soiling his pants. Just don't ask.
Yeah, that was just
Uh,
hilarious. That guy, like the senator at the end, and Raiden is like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Nano machine, son." Like, that's just, what the hell is that? Like, yeah,
That is Metal
nanomachines,
Gear Rising for you.
yeah,
Revengeance.
the
yeah.
Patriots.
And like it's one of those things which I later found out was became a meme, and it was one of those things which like I found like because I had not been exposed to meme before. Like I
Hmm.
found this was way more hilarious because really
Yeah.
like that is just like yeah like like I can't even and even in that cutscene, the point where like he like dances under his like legs somehow like just after saying something like really serious. Like yeah, that whole like senator guy is just insane. And like his whole justification did not make any sense. Like I don't think it made any sense because the guy was like, "I'm going to start a big war so that I can stop future wars." Like, how does that work? Like, Yeah, I don't even know what his like
Well, it's
But
not
motivations or
stop
anything are.
but
future
then
wars. Basically, what he wants to do is he wants to start a war to restore the United States' place in the
world.
world. That's his plan.
No, but like he said something like, so no more war as a business.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No more
yeah,
wars because when America is on top of the food chain again and we rule everyone, there won't be a need for war.
yeah, but already America rules everyone in this game. It's not like
No, no,
America
they don't.
suddenly became
They
evil.
don't. The situation is different, right? Because this game is taking place post Metal Gear Solid 4.
Hmm. Well, like
Yeah, it's
I haven't played MGS4 at all, so like I don't know what happened in 4. But like in this case, like like Maverick and all are like based in America, and like the
it's
major
not just
villains.
4. It is like in the Metal Gear Solid games. I think since 2, you see that there's shit going down in America.
Hmm.
And like I think specifically what he's referring to in Revengeance is the economic meltdown of 2008, and like America's economy is in the toilet, and this senator's plan is to bring it back out and resurge it completely.
Yeah, by
Uh,
starting another expensive war which they can't afford.
yeah, but I mean, it's like it's meant to be
Yeah.
kind of dumb, right? In that sense.
Huh.
Yeah, we're gonna start a war. It's gonna make us all the money, you guys. Uh,
Yeah.
all the money. Anyway, Metal Gear Rising. It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I do love the core mechanic, the one which you like slice people and then like extract their spine. Like that is
Yeah.
just like, and it encourages risky play, which is what I like, because usually like every fighting game I played till now, it's like, okay, don't let yourself get hit. Like just like I will like block and keep using the most boring move because it doesn't leave me open if I fail to execute it. You know. Whereas here, like I would deliberately take risks because I know that if
Hmm.
I handle, if I get one perfect Zandatsu, like all the health and meat are just,
Yeah.
so that's nice. Yeah. I definitely think that this after playing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, like I won't be able to go back to other fighting games. Like it's that good. Like I think. I do.
Have you gotten the game out of your system? Metal Gear
No,
No,
Rising.
no,
not
not yet.
yet.
I'm still playing on higher difficulties.
Okay.
Like usually
Anyway,
because like I play these kind of games too for the like entertainment, not really to like test myself or anything. So far even higher difficulties have like they are more difficult, but they are also the same exhilaration as the lower difficulty.
cool. Anyway, I've been playing Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yay.
Inspired. Some of you, I want to listen to something else after you droning on about
Yeah,
how much you love Rising Revengeance,
yeah.
a game which I played.
Why don't we Splinter Cell start real wars like that senator? Yeah, even villain in guessing well.
Well, I mean, the villain of Splinter Cell this time is an MI5 agent. Of course, he's Muslim because he has to be the villain of the Splinter Cell game. Uh, like the weird thing is, the goal of the terrorists in this game is pretty rational in the sense that they want America to leave all the troops to get all the troops they have on foreign soil to come back to America.
But
Uh,
since this
which
is
seems
like this game is being sold in America, shouldn't be like portrayed as like the worst choice ever, and like this guy is
Maybe
totally
that's
off
what.
the rocker.
yeah, I mean, the guy is being portrayed as a super villain who, like, I mean, he's introduced while he cuts the throat of an American soldier who says, "I have a 2-year-old son. Please spare my life."
Oh
Wow,
Uh,
my
wow.
god.
yeah, so I mean, it's not like he's being portrayed as a rational guy who's doing something
Next,
because
yeah, next you tell me that his like he wears a purple suit and his name is like Pagan Min or something like that.
no, no. He wears standard jihadi clothing, which is like the leather jacket and the
The
handkerchief
scarf,
tied on
like
the neck
the
and
head scarf, yeah.
the kurta and stuff like that. No,
Oh,
no head covering though.
okay.
The only big difference is that he speaks with a clipped British posh British accent.
Uh, yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, I mean
yeah,
this guy's like a jihadi kind of guy and is British. I mean that's like every villain archetype covered.
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. It's basically they wanted Americans to play this game really really badly, so they made the villain like the two things Americans can get behind murdering, British and Muslim. Uh,
Yeah.
it's yeah,
My God.
it's
Yeah.
weird in the sense that it play the stuff that plays up to stereotypes is really weird. Like I've been playing co-op. Not so much the main story. The main story has a lot of political bullshit that that is going on. But the co-op stuff is interesting because the last three co-op missions I've played have been in India and Pakistan, and it's kind of yeah, it's kind of fun to like listen to conversations in Hindi. Uh, the last mission that I just played was in It was in a missile plant in Bangalore, which is just it's just a dumb thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I lived in an apartment that was literally next door to that missile plant. So yeah, like seems like a legit place. Yeah.
God, it's so awesome. There's a part where two soldiers are talking and they're talking in Hindi, and it's like मेरी बहन पढ़ने अमेरिका पढ़ने गई है. So then like the guy replies saying something like, "Oh, does she like it there?" She's like, "Yeah, but the food is bad." So she's coming back after she finishes studying, and the guy's like, "Yeah, maybe." And then the soldier asks him, "So does she have a boyfriend?" And like the guy looks at like his comrade and says, "भोसड़ी के बकवास सवाल करना बंद कर," or something like
Oh my
that.
God, he actually swears on like that thing.
Yeah, he actually
Huh.
says "भोसड़ी के."
Nice.
There's a lot of Indian swear words in the levels set in India and stuff, like India and Pakistan. Like guys randomly saying "bhenchod" and stuff like that will pop up all the time.
I guess they
It's
just like they ask Indian expats to do stuff like that. It's go to
I don't know who they asked, but the dialogue in those levels is hilarious. My friend and I were laughing our asses off as we played. Uh,
Ah.
I hope we do get to listen to something similar in Pakistan.
okay, so my friend's dad is in the Indian Army. So okay, so this is the funniest shit that happened. There's one level set in Pakistan in the mountains where like we're supposedly going to murder a bunch of terrorists that are trying to take over a village in Kargil or whatever. Uh, so my friend set up a bomb somewhere and then said पाकिस्तानियों तुम्हें हर विस्फोट में मेरी आवाज की गूंज सुनाई देगी and the guy is
My
level to
God.
start shooting people and instantly got blown up by a sniper. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I love shit like that when it happens in games.
Yeah, that's why co-op is like so awesome.
Yeah.
I play
I'm
Left 4
thinking now
Dead
is
with
that
couple of people, couple of my friends, and it's fun, because okay, if you're angry with one of them, you can totally like not save them, push them into the waste or something like the other you can do. It's just a lot of fun, take out all your revenge on them.
It's a better game in every way than Conviction. Like I'm enjoying the shit out of the co-op and the single player stuff.
hmm, yeah, great, I guess. Yeah. I mean, there's just that game which like doesn't interest me at all. Like, I'm not interested in playing that.
Anyway, Blacklist.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about
And
Blacklist.
silence sums up our feelings about the game. Yeah.
Mhm.
Bugger off. Blacklist is awesome. Uh, I
What
also
games are coming up in July? New
July.
Yeah,
releases.
finally you asked, there is this one game which I am making here, which is also coming out in July.
Okay, Arvind,
What
thanks.
I think she meant what good games are coming out in July. I don't think she was asking what sermonizing games about Indian culture from the point of view of a privileged guy who grew up in utopian Jaipur are coming out in July.
So,
Litfest City. What is coming out in July? I have no idea. Let us take a look at what comes
Let
out.
us Google this thing.
Let us look at what Arvind is competing against. I know that the new Magic game comes out in July, which
yeah,
Arvind,
I've already like pre-ordered. Yeah.
big surprise, Arvind pre-ordered a Magic game. Oh, Sniper Elite 3 comes out, I think. It's already out.
I
Sniper
think it's
Elite
already
3.
out.
Yeah. It came out this month. There's the Ratchet and Clank trilogy is coming out. Uh, oh, that's
Yeah.
also already out, actually. The Wolf Among Us, the last episode of that is coming out this month.
Last of Us
Mm.
is coming out again.
Yeah, for PS4, The Last of Us
So
is coming out.
basically nothing new.
Dead Rising 3 is coming out on PC. Uh,
Uh,
Broforce is coming out on PC.
What?
Gods Will Be Watching is coming out on PC. Hey, Arvind, Gods Will Be Watching is coming out like one day after you on PC.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, what's that
I
game
guess
about? Like,
October
what's it
is
called?
the.
It's an adventure game. It's a point and click adventure thriller kind of game.
Oh, okay.
Tropico
Sounds good.
5 comes out in July, and yeah, that's about
I
it. I
thought
don't think.
Tropico 5 was already out. Like, wasn't it out a couple of months ago? Like, I saw all the
Oh,
It
reviews
was
saying
out
like
in
release.
May.
it's coming out on Xbox in July.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
Hey, Hotline Miami 2 is coming out in July, but that's on PS4, not on PC.
Oh, seriously? That's
Yeah,
surprising.
yeah. I think it's a PS exclusive or whatever, right? Timed exclusive. So
Oh man, really?
timed exclusive. So it like I mean, after a couple of months, it will be out on the app.
Yeah.
yeah. One thing which I don't like
Uh,
about new, what do you call that? The friendliness of like Sony and such in games is this timed exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Eh, eh, it is a good thing in that these indies make enough money out of it so that they can make their next game.
yeah,
It's good in that sense.
yeah. Yeah, what I
Arvind's
really love is
objection to it
that
is that he doesn't have a timed exclusive deal with Sony yet.
yeah.
Once he has to sign one of those, he'll be like, I don't get what the problem is here. Timed exclusives are awesome.
Yeah, probably. But what I really love is that Steam. I was searching on like games releasing like and Steam recommends the tag nano machines for like this is that kind of games you like. And like people have actually like tagged lots of games in this. Like they've tagged Red Faction, Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, and Deus Ex as games with nano machines in them. So yeah, just yeah,
Wait,
I
what?
found
Blood Dragon has nanomachines in it? Shit, I've got to play Blood Dragon
it.
now.
No,
well,
it's
I would
not
have
that
it.
good actually. I played it. Like it's not that, like I didn't find it that good. It's the core like it's that kind of thing where like if Far Cry formula appealed to you, like Far Cry, but you wanted like all of the tedium bits out. Like in that case, it's fine. But for me, like the core formula didn't appeal that much. Like the Dragon's core formula, and it's like again, it's one of those games where the cutscenes are like old fashioned any types, and I was more enjoying watching the cutscenes than actually playing the game. So yeah,
The
I don't
only
know.
cutscene I enjoyed was when Vas comes in the first time and he's like, did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? That cutscene was actually pretty good.
What's the
Hmm.
definition of insanity? Like because I haven't played it. Like what does he say is the definition?
Doing the same thing again and again without
And
and expecting a different result.
So
expecting shit to
pre-ordering
change.
the new Assassin's Creed game. Like that's the definition of insanity.
Seriously?
Such a fucking snarky asshole. Like, did you go? Like, did they have classes in school where they taught you to like?
To be
And
honest.
now you say something snarky.
No, like no, this kind of talent isn't like taught. Like
But
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
what he's saying is actually quite true. I mean,
yeah. I know. No,
Assassin's Creed is
what he's saying
totally.
is true in this case. In this case, he got
Yeah.
lucky that he decided to pick on Ubisoft of all things. Uh, and they deserve to be picked on. God, Watch Dogs. God, how could they ruin that idea? It's such a solid idea. Uh,
Did you play it?
yeah, I played a bit of it at a friend's place recently, and I was
Okay.
very disappointed that it had as many guns as it did. It did not need that much shooting.
Really, seriously.
And if you are going to have shooting, have better shooting than the shit they've put in that game.
God, seriously. And the worst part is you can't even shoot while driving while people are shooting the shit out of you.
I went in expecting like a person of interest style game wherein you get to walk around the city and prevent crimes from happening.
like
Hmm.
And
the only
that's not what the game is about at all. The game is about some bullshit asshole taking
Revenge
revenge.
is
yeah.
seriously. Taking revenge for what? I have no idea.
Someone shot his niece because he was a douchebag and
I
like he
don't
has to take
care. I
revenge.
don't
I mean,
even
it's
know
your
his.
fault. You were a douchebag. You hacked someone. Don't hack dangerous people, you douchebag.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's one of those stories which we have seen like hundreds of times, and we have seen better executed 100 of times.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this kind of story works when uh, like when it's being done without being arch or without trying to be like, oh my god, this is so melodramatic, uh, like Gears of War has a very similar story in that sense. It is the rah rah story of the Gears fighting back and defeating the Locust invasion. But the first Gears of War, not the second and the third one. But the reason Gears works is because it's done without trying to feel like, oh my god, can you see how important this story is? Can you feel the emotions? Uh, they don't they don't try to do that in Gears of War 1. Like in Gears of War 2, when they take you inside like a Locust concentration camp, you just like I'm like, oh why
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Like that.
The only
Actually, I
Gears of
think.
War 2 thing I watched was
Yeah,
when you go inside that worm thing. I saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Like
yeah.
that shit is cool. I
I
don't have
think.
no problem with that part in the game.
Yeah.
When you're inside the worm and you're covered in blood and then you chainsaw the worm and blow it up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
Yeah.
from
Gears of
there
War
you go into
actually.
a it's not actually a concentration camp, but
Yeah.
looking
No,
at the
like,
people who come out of there,
yeah.
it's like a concentration
No,
camp.
I
It's
mean, what
dumb.
I'm saying was that like if it would have come out in like today's environment or even like 2 years ago, like it came out at a time where people didn't bother that much. Like if the same plot would have come out like this year or like the year before this, like it would have been slaughtered. Like
I don't
critically,
think
yeah,
so. I don't think so. They would have gotten away with it. I mean, Wolfenstein, people love the story of Wolfenstein, the New Order, even though they have camp stuff in it.
no,
You
yeah,
know?
but like in that
I've been
case,
hearing a lot
they're
of
not.
good stuff about it.
Yeah, no, but in that case, like from what I heard, it's not like they try to like engage in
Yeah.
some sort of
See,
metaphor, and like yeah,
yeah, the thing is, Wolfenstein isn't trying to make it seem like what we're doing here is so important, guys. Like,
yeah,
and that I think is the problem. That is the
yeah,
problem that people have when you're trying to make it seem like what you're saying is so important. When you're trying to just tell a story, and
yeah,
it's just saying like, what I'm trying to do is tell you a story. I'm not trying to tell you an important story. I'm not trying to tell you like I'm not trying to pass on some message to you. I'm just trying to tell you a story. Take what you want from it. And
yeah.
I think Wolfenstein does that really well, which is why it can do the concentration camp stuff without people going, "What the hell? Why are you talking about this?
Yeah.
You you've not earned the right to talk about this." And that's why I think Kojima kind of could not get away with what he tried to do in Ground Zeroes, because he tried to, like, it's weird because he's talked about world politics before, and he's talked about it in a way that is kind of interesting in the older games, but he's never been so arch about it. Like he got really arch about it in the last one in Ground Zeroes, which is why some people were like, why are you trying to do it this way? Why are you executing it like this? I mean, there are like you've done it better before. Uh, it's weird. Considering that you're making a game that deals with a lot of not exactly hot button, but what can be termed as sensitive issues. Like, what is your methodology to dealing with this stuff? Arvind?
No, I mean, oh, you mean like, well, in our case, like, our game is kind of built on like open-ended stuff, like trying to give the player a lot of options. So we just like try to think of like every possible way this situation can end.
All right.
So in that case, like, it's not as much as like telling a story, it's just like crafting a world and let the player make their own story. So at least
Okay.
that's the approach that we take. So I mean, I guess like if like more linear, in that case, it could be like said that okay, we want to tell the story. But yeah, I don't know. Like
No, I was talking about. Have you guys paid attention to stuff that you think might offend people and like deliberately run
yeah,
away
like we
from it?
definitely like yeah, definitely know like okay, like don't like like we try to be sensitive about like what we are putting. So it's not like it's just everything is fun. So
Yeah. At the same time, though, you're tackling issues that a lot of development teams would not be comfortable with tackling, right?
yeah, well, I think like, part of that is just because like there's always the where's the action in this and like I mean it's not like anyone else is like even imagined like putting like setting an RPG in India. So it's not like we like it's not like we have like a history of like 10 games before us which we like learn from. So but like
Yeah.
my like inspiration was like in major like ways like Escape Tournament. So like in that case, like often like playing tournament with just like we don't try to judge like a setting or something like as like this is wrong, this is not. So we just
Okay.
like try to portray like what happened with that.
So, like, I mean, okay, fine. What the question I'm coming to is there anything in the game that you're going to ship with that you're nervous about how it's going to be received?
Yeah, definitely.
Or is
Like
it?
pretty much the entire game. But yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about it being received well, but are you nervous about something becoming controversial?
Well, like I'm just a bit, but like, I don't like I don't know that because like I haven't really faced like controversy like quote unquote like that before. So like, I don't know
Yeah,
like what
fair
it
enough.
would be like. So like I don't know what like people might take offense with. Like I mean I know that what they might, but like I don't know what will actually happen. So so
Okay,
essentially like I don't know what to like I try to like make it like like not be like too judgmental or not like be like like not portray it as in like look we are superior to what we are portraying. Like I think that's one major thing which like always like alienates people. No, yeah, I think that's ultimately a major thing because like you are like portraying like trying to like have a setting based on something, like I think a key part is to like make sure that you don't like your story isn't just oh look how much better we are than what's happening here. I think that's one major like, which uh, so like, even in our character, for example, those risk characters like don't have access to technology and etc. because it's ancient India, of course. But that doesn't mean that like they just like stop thinking rationally, like or something. So we do have like places where a person can act the same way which you think you would act. You obviously like when it's actually happening to you, you act differently. Like you don't have the time to like process everything. But at the same time, like there might be some things where you just wait, why didn't they do that? Or like so like the answer should be more no because they didn't think about it. That's one major thing which we try to avoid with our game. But I mean it's like but there are still like outcomes which will come up which we didn't think of. Like that truth in that way. But still I think that's one key feature. Like, portraying something sincerely.
okay, fair enough, I guess. Like, it's always a hard thing to do, and you can never tell what will rub whom the right or wrong way.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, like, I mean, as you get closer to release date, I imagine the nervousness will only increase.
Pretty much. Yeah.
uh, yeah, best of luck, man. It's going to be fun to see all the reviews come in. I'm sure they're going to be positive. Uh, all right, guys, that is it for this week. We will see you next week on the Dead Horse Podcast. Thank you for listening. Bye.